welcome back to Obscured Reality, fuckers. I'm Mark, and holy hell, tonight we got Stevie and Mike with us.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Yes, what's up, Mike? How's it going?
Oh, not too bad.
Good.
Good.
Stevie, how are you doing?
Pretty awesome. Well rested, I will say. Well rested.
We'll make up for that tonight. All right. Well, we'll just get into it. You have tonight's show. What the hell are we doing?
So quick question. I know that we talk about a lot of obscure things here, mostly of the cryptozoology type and the UAP type. But how do you feel about the idea of reincarnation?
Interesting.
Yeah. Ditto. I'm not.
I want to hear your honest opinions before I tell you any of what I'm talking about tonight.
Mike, I'll let you go first.
Yes. Caught him.
Oh, well, he's drinking.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic. My personal thoughts, I don't believe it's true, but I think it would be pretty cool if it was.
Well, I mean, I don't believe unicorns are true, but I think that would be cool if they were.
Right. No, exactly. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to think that after we die that we get a chance to come back and, start again, but...
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I mean, I'm not very religious, and not that reincarnation does or doesn't have anything to do with religion, but number one, I'm really not religious, right? There's no proof. But then again, reincarnation type stuff, there's also no proof. But, then you have these people, mediums and other people who claim they can talk to people who, to our knowledge, have already died, right? So it's like, well, what is that? If that is actually true and they actually are hearing these people, they're able to talk to and communicate with these people, what is that? Is that reincarnation, or is that maybe just that person, their soul or whatever it might be, just somewhere else? And obviously that probably wouldn't be reincarnation. Just answered my own question without shutting up. Right? But then again, could it be? Reincarnation. I think we talked about this. Hang on.
Having a little issue. Hang on a second. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're good.
I'm going to turn on echo cancellation for you, Mike, because yours is... Oh, can't do it while recording. Okay. Hey, well, since we're taking a break, Mike, your video through Riverside, what you can see yourself on screen, right?
Yeah.
How's your video look?
Mine looks good to me.
Does it?
Yeah. Yours looks a little bit pixelated when I look at yours.
Okay.
Stevie's looks good.
Okay, that's fine. It's not
you. On mine, I see it crystal clear.
Okay. All right, we'll continue. Hang on. Just keep it silent for a sec so I can cut this shit out. Oh, let's try to avoid dead spots. If possible. Okay, hang on. But we've talked recently, I think, Stevie, about things like deja vu, right?
Yes, we have.
And just opinions, or not even opinions, but just some theories on that. And like, what if when you die, you get buried or whatever happens, but let's say you get buried, let's say you're in a wood coffin and it breaks down even sooner. And in like 1,000 years, obviously you're complete dust. The whole landscape in the area has changed. You might have things that grow plants or trees or whatever. And some of that dust might, what's the possibility that could get sucked up in water into a plant and be part of that plant? Then you have the bee pollination, right? And they go get pollen from that plant, go somewhere else and whatever. And who knows how life really spreads around. Is there a possibility that could happen and get to a human being? They have a child, and now I'm that child and I grow up and, I have deja vu 2-3 times every 1 to 2 years. Could that be reincarnation? Is feeling like you've been here before. So I don't know. I mean, I can't say it's real, obviously, but it would be interesting. I would say this. If it were proven tomorrow that reincarnation is a thing, it's real, I wouldn't be shocked, especially nowadays.
Yeah, and then like so as far as reincarnation, I mean different I've heard different like I guess the religions or different
Mhm.
groups of people I should say have different thoughts like, if you're really good in this life, you'll come back in the next life
Right.
as,
Mhm.
maybe like a rich person. But if you're really bad, maybe you'll come back as like a sewer rat.
Yeah, your karma dictates your. That's a. That's well,
fucking
it's true.
sewer
That's
rat.
that's I believe a Buddhist belief that your karma in this life affects your next life, and it's you have to build up
Yeah.
enough like spiritual karma to when you're finally reborn for the last time, to ascend, to their version, but. Yeah, and also in the Japanese religion, reincarnation is very heavy there. But I believe they're very split between, I believe, Shinto and Buddhist there. Yeah, so
So I heard a joke recently. What did you just mention? Karma. It made me think of something.
yes,
It made me
karma.
think of a song. You guys all heard the song? Well, by George Michael. I think it was Chameleon.
Yeah,
Oh
That
no,
one. Who was that?
that's
Was that
Culture
George
Club.
Michael?
Culture Club.
I don't know,
Right.
but I know
Isn't
the
George
song.
Michael the singer in Culture Club?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. No.
No.
Who's
That's
the
Boy
singer?
George. Boy George.
Boy George. You know where I'm going. They're the same. Okay, Boy George. What did the joke have to do with it? Was
I don't know.
like why don't chameleons like Boy George or something like that? Because he come on the chameleon. It was pretty bad. All right,
Oof.
so there's our thoughts, Stevie. What's going on
All
with
right.
this? Where are we going? What's
All right,
going on?
so
Fill us in.
yeah, so we are going to be talking about children who have past life experiences and like to the point where their parents have taken them seriously and like have tried to actually help
Yeah.
the children like get closure. Some of them are really
Can I ask
traumatic
you a question on that?
experiences. Yeah.
You say children that have had
Children.
past life experiences.
Mhm.
It's just the first thought that came to my head was why children rather than just people in general or adults? Is there like a difference here?
So children are I think more spiritually open than adults, which is why it happens to them more than us because we're so jaded and like molded by the world and
Right.
society. Also because it's closer to the point of being born, so they're still more connected to, as some people call it, the blueberry patch. But we'll get to that. Kind of like the waiting room, to be called down next. Some people
Okay.
like, yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
So that's why children are affected by this more than adults.
Okay.
I actually will tell you my personal story of this before we get into other ones, just so you have
Oh,
a reference of what's going on. Yeah, I've talked about this actually before. When I was a kid, I would have repeated dreams that I was running through a forest that was on fire. I'm dressed in very simple 1800 style, like nightgown. It was white. It was like
Ooh.
tight around the chest, and then it was long. And that's why I had problems
Right.
running. I would just recall like everything being orange, and it was always down a particular path. And there was like these forest animals around me, like because everyone was just trying to get away. And I tripped and fell over a root. And it's usually at that point that I start panicking because I can't get up because of the tightness of the length of the dress. And
Okay.
I end up waking up at that point, which is what I assume either my brain was like, wake the fuck up, Stephanie, or that's the point in which
Right.
I pass. I'm not too sure. I had this dream up until like middle school, and it was a couple times a year that I would have this. And then it was brought to my attention by a friend that there was a possibility that was how I might have passed away in a previous life, that a part of my
Huh.
soul was still trying to contend with. Because
Right.
if the act of death is faster than the ability to like accept what's going on, that could create a traumatic like riff in the soul and leave a part behind. Because I truly believe that, you know, if there is reincarnation, I'm sure there's a little bit of a soul that's left behind, like in
Mhm.
the final place. And that's why at the end of all the life, I kind of believe the whole Buddhist
Well,
thing, like
you
at the
know,
end of the
I mean-
life, like you're complete, you're whole again because you've rejoined the rest of
Right.
your parts.
Well, you and I've
So-
talked about this recently.
Mhm.
I mentioned a story to you where, Mike, you might be familiar with this. We might have talked about it before too, where there's been people like on an operating table or whatever, they're in the hospital being operated on, and they have, you know, they're done with the surgery or whatever, and they come to, and they swear to God they had some sort of out of body experience.
Mhm.
And one of those stemmed from someone who started describing this room, not the room they were in, but some room with someone else, like on an operating table. And they described the whole room, and the doctor was like, holy shit, that's the operating room next door. And that person was
Yeah.
never in there. So what that doctor did is he started placing shit high up on shelves and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't put things into people's heads, a notion of, hey, try and look for something while you're asleep type deal. But he would just let it play out and see if things happened. And people would mention like stuff up on the top of the bookcase where you can't see unless you get up on a step stool or something. And they knew the stuff was there, you know, and
Yeah.
it you know, it kind of makes me think of that.
I've heard that
Mhm.
before.
Yeah.
That sounds very familiar.
Yeah. Interesting.
So, like after that realization of that is probably what that was, I've never had that dream again, ever. Stopped. completely.
Really?
Yep. Never had it again.
Wow.
Yep.
That's interesting.
And I try to induce lucid dreaming all
Yeah.
the time because I've had other very strange sleep instances. I believe in astroplaning as well. That's a whole other topic I'm not even going to start to
Ooh.
touch.
Astro.
Let's just talk about that later after the show.
I'm
But
thinking of Astro Glide.
no,
Y'all know what that is, obviously. Okay, so keep going. Astro gliding, out of body,
astral
in body.
planing, also
Planing.
known as an out of body experience. But like,
Okay,
we'll talk about that another show. That's a whole.
okay.
Is that
Another
the same
rabbit
as
hole.
like I think I've heard one called like astral projection, where like
Yeah.
somebody else
Yes.
dreams or something, and they
Yes.
like you came to them in a dream or something, right? Okay.
I think
Okay.
it's
Yes,
with- is that
I've
with an-
had that as an experience. I have had that experience with somebody.
Is that is
Yes.
that astral with an L, like ASTRAL?
Leave my
Astral?
Midwestern
Yeah.
accent alone.
No. I'm just making sure because
Yeah.
what Mike said, I've heard of that. I've heard
Yeah.
of that.
Astral
Okay,
planing, astral
gotcha.
projection. Yes.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I've had
Okay.
experiences like that as well, like with some of my friends who were across the country. Like, so I've had some weird
Hmm.
sleep experiences. Obviously, I told you guys I
Interesting.
record myself when I sleep, so it's kind of fun. Um, So the kids are known under different names. Sometimes they're called star children, sometimes they're called indigo children, but they're children with
I've heard of that one.
Yes, they're children who have extraordinary abilities, but I'm just going to focus on the reincarnation aspect of some of the stories. Not every indigo children star child has this experience. It's just falls under the said category.
I want to say indigo children is probably the main term for them. The only
Mhm.
reason I'm saying that is because I'm trying to look some stuff up while you're talking because, you know, this is your show. And that is the main term that comes up under star
Mhm.
children is indigo children
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
main
yeah, but-
articles.
Like I said, not every indigo child has had a reincarnation experience. It just falls under said blanket term for this.
Oh, okay.
A couple of them, just to start off, like there was a little girl who would have like dreams and memories of being on a train that was like cramped full of other children, and they would be basically all squashed into boxcars, and they would travel long distances on it. And like when you first hear the story, you're like, oh shit, because the only time you ever hear about people being shoved into boxcars and put on trains is overseas.
Yeah.
But it ends up that that's not the case for her. She was part of a not well known thing that happened with children during the like 1800s in America is that they would shove orphans onto trains and send them out west to other families. And she
Wow.
was
Yeah.
one of the children on that train. So like
Ah.
so her parents like helped her figure this out. Like they dug up a lot of research about this train and like it helped her like accept these dreams and memories and like move on from it.
Okay.
Another girl named Thalia, she lives in Madison, Wisconsin. She, around the age of 4, started to have like vivid memories of having to help this old woman and children who are very sick. She was like convinced that she was Japanese. She became absolutely obsessed with the Japanese culture. But again, at
Okay.
4 years old, what can you like really understand about another culture like that? Uh,
Best time to
she
learn it. That's for sure.
True. This is true. Um, she actually one day approached her father while he was painting because he I guess was decided to paint one day on newspapers to help relieve his stress. That was literally his words in the
Right.
episode that I watched. And his daughter came over, Thalia, and she was like, "Daddy, I would like to try." And he was like, "Okay." So he puts some paint on the brush and hands it to her, and she paints perfect calligraphy, the Japanese words kanji for home and love, and not home like house, like home
And
like
how old was
family.
she?
4.
4. Huh.
Fucking draws perfect Japanese calligraphy without knowing fucking Japanese. For home in the family sense, not the house like physical sense,
Wow.
like the heart sense, and love. She I guess later on, like around maybe 5, was taken to an air show by her mom, like
Okay.
just as like a family thing. And when they got there, they went into one of the hangars that had the planes in it. And
Mm-hmm.
Thalia freaked the fuck out, was crying, screaming, "The building's gonna fall on me, the building's gonna fall on me," was having an absolute panic attack. So obviously, mom took her out. And that's when the dreams started getting like worse for her. She started having dreams of like explosions and of dying. And so they were kind of like, were you by chance in a atomic bomb explosion at the end of World War II? And she was like, that makes sense. Like she just like that they just kind of like asked her because I mean they were trying to put pieces together to help her figure it out because like it was traumatizing this poor child.
Yeah.
Um
To me,
and
that's kind of just like putting a preconceived notion in the head. It's like, well, you know,
yeah, but I mean the things that she was saying kind of led them to come to this conclusion.
right.
So I maybe it was leading either way, don't know. But she ended up drawing this particular image. It was the shape of like a leaf with a line through it and a circle. I will send you the picture of it after the show so you can insert it here. But
Yeah.
but
Somewhere.
it was like the dad was like, "Okay, this is
what you're,
interesting."
you're saying. This image is what this girl drew.
Yes, I will send it
Do you
to you. Like she
do
like
you have her name?
her name's Thalia. I will get the last name, but her name's Thalia.
I know how to pronounce that because I used to know someone with that name.
Well, there you
Surprisingly,
go.
never heard it again.
How old did you say she was?
She was around 5 at this time.
Wow.
She drew like this picture because like, and her dad was like, "Okay, so maybe this means something." Like last time
What
she
was the
drew me
picture of?
something. It was I'll tell you what it is in just a second, but it was like a leaf with a line through it and a circle. I'll send it to you after the show, like I said. But so
Well, you Stevie, reprimanded. You need to give me this stuff before the show.
sorry.
It's not this blue one in the middle, is it? That
Once it
picture you're
loads.
looking at there
Huh? No.
with these little like flower
No.
things. Okay.
Hang on.
Man, like at 5 years old, I was barely drawing stick figures.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I wonder if it was. Yeah, I don't know. I did write something down. I have a question for you after the show tonight, Stevie. Well, at the end of this. Oh, that's it. Okay.
Yes. All right. So the dad was like, maybe this means something. Last time, she drew something, it was freaking kanji, obviously. So he was like, maybe this is more of a clue as to like what's going on, because it looks like a family crest almost in his like opinion. So he sends it
Okay.
off to a into Japan to whoever the hell knows about family crests over there. Like that's their specialty. And so they got together with somebody in, I believe it was San Francisco, to talk about it. And there was a couple of names that whose families used that in their crest, and she had
Right.
written them down. And she was like, "Do any of these names look familiar?" And the girl was like, "That one." And she was like, "Well, that family name hails usually from Kyoto, but they were involved in the like care and aid of people who were like injured in the war, and they were
Okay.
actually sent out to Hiroshima to help there prior to the bomb being dropped on them."
Right.
So like she just came to the
Huh.
conclusion that she was indeed a victim of the Hiroshima atomic bomb, and that was her like previous
Right.
memories. She seems to have made peace with this and doesn't have these issues and dreams anymore.
Huh. That's
Yes.
interesting. Just goes away.
Yes. I mean, once like I guess that part of the soul feels acknowledged and at peace with like the acceptance and like knowledge of like how they passed, I think maybe that's
Mm-hmm.
something like that's at least what I believe, because that's kind of happened to me, like the understanding and acceptance, like, oh wow, maybe that was how I died in a previous life and I'm just dreaming about it because that's a traumatic experience to pass away in a fire like that
Right.
for anybody. I stopped having that dream. And the census is that most children, once they have had some form of closure and peace, stop speaking and dreaming of it. There was a boy in Oklahoma named Ryan. He was 4 years old, and he would wake up screaming at like 2 in the morning for months. He would always cry to his mom to take him to the house where he, quote, lived before. He would just beg and beg and beg to be returned to Hollywood.
California or Florida? Big difference.
California.
Okay.
California.
It'd make more sense if it was Florida.
Mhm.
You know them people down there.
He wanted he wanted to return to his life, his glittering life in Hollywood, complete with a big house,
Okay.
pool, fast cars. I can't live in these conditions. My last home was so much better. Like, this is a 4-year-old crying about this, like screaming to get taken back to his old house. He just kept telling his mom, "Mommy, I'm so homesick." She always tried to comfort him, but it would obviously never work.
Right.
He was like a little old man who couldn't remember the details of his old life. He was so frustrated and sad, is what his mom said about like his outbursts and like her attempts to calm him.
Yeah.
So after I guess a couple months of this and trying to console him, she decided to go to the library and get some books about old Hollywood, like with pictures in them. And she
Uh-huh.
would bring them home and she would read him stories of like old Hollywood to like soothe him to go to sleep. So he became like super excited about it. It was like helping him with his homesickness. And apparently they came to a still of a scene from a 1932 movie called Night After Night. And he
Okay.
shouted, "Mama, that's me. That's me." He pointed to one of the extras in the background, and like he was so happy. And his mom was like, "I was shocked. I thought we would never find out who he was, but like he's relieved. Like he like can move on now." So
Right.
that one's a little interesting. There wasn't too much detail on that from that article, but the one that I'm about to tell you next like is the one that I
Just
originally heard.
just because I brought it up and I mentioned
Mhm.
Florida, just so y'all know out there, in 2002, the first international conference on indigo children was held in Hawaii.
Ooh.
They had about 600 attendees. The way it reads is as if that's big, and maybe for something like that it is. I don't know. But there's also been subsequent conferences in Florida, Oregon, and elsewhere. So, it is a thing. It's a big thing, obviously, if they're doing that type of stuff. So, and obviously there's some films. So, proceed. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Oh,
Not
you're
really.
fine.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So the next one is my last one that I'm going to tell you about, but it's my absolute favorite because it's the one that really got me interested in this whole like reincarnation of children remembering like their previous lives. A little boy named Jamie. This started for him when he was 3 years old. He always had a really bad, deep fear of water. Like the family had a pool. They were all very much, obviously, water people.
Right.
But the child would never go past the steps. Even when mom would like try to hold him and take him into the water, he would like just thrash and scream and cry and just beg to be brought
Right.
back to shallow end. Well, even just the stairs, not even the shallow end, the fucking stairs. Um, so he's like, I guess like he saw something about the Titanic. Like this was about the time that the movie came out, and immediately had this like a fascination about the ship. Now this is when he was 3 years old, so obviously this child is not about to go watch this movie.
Well,
But
but then how's he know about it? How's he even have a clue? If he's that young, he's not even reading yet.
exactly, just wait. Yeah, he's not reading
Shut
yet.
the fuck up, Mark.
Shut the fuck up, Mark. I swear to God, I'll
Just say
answer
it.
all your questions. Just hold the fuck
Just
on.
say it. Hey, I don't want to forget shit. I'm letting you know. I'm typing stuff up right now because I have a couple of questions and thoughts. So
Oh yeah, no, feel free.
I'm being good tonight. I'm saving it for the end. Trying.
I'm being
Most
good
of
tonight.
it.
Okay. So he became obsessed with the Titanic and would just start talking about the ship all the time. But it was knowledge about this ship that no one would know. He would draw pictures of the Titanic. Like if you cut it in half, like you know how when they show like ship designs, like when you're going to go like check whatever hotel, like not hotel, cruise ship cabin that you want, you can pick your level and like the area of the ship
Right.
like on the map. So this is obviously pre-internet where you can do shit like that, because when Titanic was coming out, I think you had to put a fucking CD-ROM in your computer to connect to AOL at that point.
Which
So-
Titanic? You must be talking about Leo DiCaprio,
Yes.
right?
Isn't that
was
the
there a
only
previous
one?
Titanic?
No.
I don't know.
No,
Is
but
there
when
more than one?
Titanic was coming out, I was still living in Portage. So I know for a fact that it was the point in time where you had AIM and you had to put AOL 3.0 in your freaking CD-ROM to connect to the internet.
Hey, Stevie, you want to
Leave me
hear
alone.
something funny?
Huh.
You want to hear something funny? I know someone that still has an AOL freaking email address.
I know a
He's
lot of people
right
do.
there. He's right there on screen with you.
Yeah, I know a lot of people do too.
Yeah, I know a lot of people still have AOL.
I know no
Yeah.
one, man. No one
Hey,
but you.
look, my job requires me to ask for emails like all day long, and there's
that makes sense. Yeah.
there's someone like people say Hotmail. I'm like, you still use that?
I heard
What?
that the other day too. Someone talked about that. I'm like, who the fuck still has that? Like, why?
Mhm.
This is 2023, guys. Get a Gmail. It's easy.
I've had
better.
Gmail,
Gmail
since
sucks.
before.
Mm.
I've had Gmail since before it was free. Like you had to be invited to Gmail originally,
Yeah.
and that's when I got my
Huh.
Gmail email. Yeah, Google
still
gives
have
me
it-
free
still have
shit
a
all the
Gmail
time
too.
because of that.
Well, you should have
Yeah.
a Gmail, Mike. You
Yeah.
what you should be saying is I still have an AOL, not I still have a Gmail.
No, AOL is my main account, and the reason is
I know,
because
but that's
because everybody, like all of my my financial stuff, it's all through AOL. I don't want to have to change like 40 different things and send them. Here's my new email address when I've
That's
been using
fair.
that
Oh.
for like like
No,
20
out of
years.
convenience, I totally understand
Yeah,
that. As I
that
still
makes
have
sense.
like a Texas number from a decade ago, because out of fucking convenience, I am not
I
changing
know why
it.
you still have that. That's only good. We'll talk after the show.
Why? Because everything's attached to it, and I have two-factor authorization set up, and that would be like the
No,
biggest
but if
headache
I
in the
say
world.
it, But if I say it, you're gonna tell me after the show. Can you go ahead and take that part out? Because yeah. All right, let's go.
I'm
Let's
confused.
go. I'll tell you after.
Anyways,
You won't be. You
uh,
won't be.
so like so the split, like I was saying, the fucking slice
Yeah,
of the
the
ship.
ship.
So he would draw the most detailed pictures of like not only the length of the cut, but like if you cut it in half, like how it broke when it
Right.
came up and broke, like he would cut it in half and he would draw all the different levels and like staterooms and dining rooms and like
This is like a shitty movie where you can predict where it's going. He was the one who invented, designed, or built that ship.
yes, he was the architect. He was Thomas Andrews.
Supposedly.
Allegedly. He so Thomas Andrews actually died with the ship. He gave up his spot on the lifeboat for
That's
somebody
right.
else. He actually fought with JP Morgan the entire time the ship was
Ugh.
being built because they were cutting corners. They were using iron and not steel. They were rushing the build of the ship. Like he was like, this is fucking dangerous, y'all. Like, and this poor kid would bawl about the fact that it was his fault that the people in the boiler room died, that they never should have died. It was a mistake that they died, and he would like get obsessed about that. So that's why like they've come like they were showing him pictures of like the different people at at a Titanic exhibition that they went to in Chicago.
Right.
And that's when he was like, holy fuck, that's me. Well, he didn't say holy fuck, but he was like,
You
that's
know-
me, mama.
you know,
It's
on
me.
the-
But yeah, Thomas
on the
Andrews.
conspiracy theory level, I heard something recently about an idea that I believe there was a sister ship built, like 2 Titanics or something, and I forgot what this other one was called.
Britannica.
But I think so.
Britannica.
Yeah.
something like
That was
yeah.
like the one that was supposedly used that went out, and it shouldn't have been that one, and something about that is what helped cause it to sink. Whereas if it was a Titanic and it hit that iceberg or something, it wouldn't have happened. I
Didn't
could
the
be wrong
Britannic
on the
also
details.
sink?
I don't know, but there was something I
Yeah,
read.
there was
or
3
heard
of
about
them
that.
altogether, and 2 of them
Okay.
sank, and then one of them, I think one of them was until it was decommissioned. I think one of them just stayed in service for many years.
Yeah,
2 of them
there,
did
there
sink.
was. Yeah, there was some conspiracy behind the idea as to why it wasn't. It actually wasn't the real Titanic. It was this other one, and had it been the real one, like this probably wouldn't have happened or something. I don't know. It was weird.
I've never heard that one. Honestly, I've never heard that
I
conspiracy
didn't until
theory.
recently either. Yeah.
But yeah, so
Hmm.
that's wild to me. If you want to watch more or learn more about things like this, there is a really old TV show that you can find on YouTube now called Ghost Inside My Child. And
Okay.
it's campy as fuck because it's from the early 2000s, but if you can get through the first part, because they do like half a little segment about this one, then a little segment about that one, and by the time you get invested in one of the segments, it flips over to the other child and you're like, well, fuck, and you have to wait to
Right.
finish it out. So I mean, if you can get past the horrible setup of like the storytelling, it's interesting as hell to watch.
Right.
But
Okay.
so yeah, that's kind of it. It was a short one, but there's just so many kids. There's also like a book that a doctor from the University of Virginia put out that he like I guess interviewed like 76 different families, and like it's a study of like how he asked them and like the studies that he did and the finding and his conclusions all in this book. You can actually
Right.
so there has been significant studies about this, and it's not uncommon. Like if you go to Reddit, you can find, threads about like weird shit my kid has told me. I guess apparently one kid was like, "Do you remember when you were the baby and I was the mom?" And it's like, what?
Going
Like,
along
you
that
have
route,
kids.
you want to hear something kind of scary, at least to me. Being older and now having kids, I've worried about health a lot more. Before I never really did, but now I'm just like, Jesus, I really
Mhm.
think about it a lot, and there's some things that have happened that scare me. And so my daughter, she's pretty smart, and
Mhm.
she's always asking questions. She always wants to know more about this or that. She hears something she hasn't heard before, she asks and she wants to know, and it could be a discussion for a period of time. It could not be. Um, I think we might have talked about this topic once with her, like myself. It came up for some reason. I don't know, probably from a TV show or something. But we talked about heart attacks, and it was just real quick, kind of what it is, very basic, and that was it. And we never talked about it again. Um, no joke. There was a brief period of about, I'm going to say 4 to 6 months, somewhat recently, where she has just said the word out of the blue. Just said it completely. She doesn't do that. Just completely out of the blue. And it's usually when her and I are alone. And some of those times I've had something going on where I've been feeling a little weird, a little odd, and that has actually been a concern of mine. Really fucking weird. And I've every single time she said it, I have thought about it. I'm like, some like, come on, man, something's got to be up. I can't prove that, but it's really weird, really
Kids
weird.
are, I tell you, kids are so
Yeah,
sensitive to things like that. They're so they're closer to birth. They're more sensitive to the paranormal. They're not molded and jaded by society.
yeah.
God, I love it. I love it. But that
So
you should get that checked
let
out.
me
Ass.
oh yeah, that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm thinking about it, but I also don't want to know what I'm going to hear. Or maybe I know what I'm going
Too
to hear.
fucking bad.
I know. So let me read real quick some of
Mhm.
the claimed characteristics of indigo children or star children. Okay. They include, they can be, these are claimed. Okay.
Mhm.
And, Jesus, my English, all of a sudden I'm stupid. Empathic, curious, and strong willed are often perceived by friends and family as being strange, possess a clear sense of self definition and purpose, show a strong innate subconscious spirituality from early childhood, which, however, does not necessarily imply a direct interest in spiritual or religious areas, have a strong feeling of entitlement or deserving to be here. Other alleged traits include high intelligence quotient, inherent intuitive ability, and resistance to rigid, control based paradigms of authority.
Mhm.
Kind of interesting.
Old
And
souls is what they would
yeah,
call it.
and I'm glad
Mhm.
you said that because uh, this is one of the things I wrote down I wanted to bring up. Um, so, I'm sure we've all seen this, Mike. I'm almost positive you have because we have someone in common here. Stevie, I'm assuming you're going to know what I mean here. But have you ever noticed every once in a while you come across that person and you wouldn't just know by walking by them, but you'd have to either get to know them or at least talk to them for a few minutes, be in their presence for a few minutes, hear them talk, see how they act, how they dress, how that correlates with society today and how they are communicating. Do you ever notice people like that who just seem like they belong in a completely different time,
Yeah.
like old
Oh yeah.
western
Yeah, for
time?
sure.
Mhm.
Mike, I'm curious. Does anyone come to mind? And you don't have to name names, but does anyone come to mind with you on that?
Are you talking about somebody that, like a mutual friend of ours?
Uh huh. A brother of a mutual friend who's no longer with us.
Yeah, I can see that.
Drove a Bronco. Yeah. I mean, he's straight to the T, and I'm not the only one that thinks that. Like, I've heard our mutual friend specifically state that before. He was born in the wrong time. This isn't
I
him.
can, yeah, I can see that.
Well, I mean, you look at his walk, his talk, his actions, his build, just his choices. He's totally back from like fucking Wyatt Earp days. Like he's totally out on a goddamn horse, doing his thing, out in an old Western town. Like
Yeah,
that is
and I
him
mean,
to a T.
and he grew up like locally, so it's like, where'd that come from?
Well, he didn't fit at all,
Yeah.
which probably, I think could have, I don't know, but I think there's a possibility that could have played a role in what happened, he just didn't fit. This isn't today's life anywhere, just isn't him, I bet you if he was born back then, as the mutual friend said, I bet you if he was born back then, I bet you he'd probably thrive. I mean, that was just totally him. It seemed like,
Yeah, I can see
I
that.
don't-
And it's funny
what I-
because before you
Uh-huh.
said that, he did come to mind, but I wasn't going to bring his name up until
yeah, Well-
but it did cross my mind. I did at first think
Mhm.
of one of my friends at work. Kind of reminds me like
right,
it's like the music he listens to, and I mean he listens to a lot of things from like 60s and 70s, and I'm like, and he's younger than me. He's
right,
like mid 30s, and I'm like, where does that come from?
yeah.
It's,
So my daughter's teacher, she has a daughter who's very tall. I think she's in high school, and we went to one of the things at our kids' school recently, and we met her daughter for the first time, and she was wearing basically these like bell bottoms, and she was a redhead. Her mom's not, her dad's not, and she has this look about her face, and then obviously her clothing style doesn't help, right? That alone could make you think that, whether it's true or not. But I saw her daughter again at some cheerleading thing that was for the 4th of July parade by here, and the next time I saw the teacher, I told her, I go, your daughter, like she seems like she's from a completely different time. Like I had that feeling just from meeting her once and seeing her twice. Like without even thinking about it, I just see her and I'm like, she doesn't fit. Like she's completely back then. And I'm pretty sure, if I recall, I want to say her mom said something about that. Like not the only one that said that or something. But yeah, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about, Stevie? Does this make
yeah.
sense? You know
It
anyone like that?
absolutely makes sense. Yeah.
No,
No,
anyone like that?
yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Actually, like my sister, she very much could have been a homesteader on like the prairie. Like she
Mm-hmm.
is incredibly knowledgeable, and actually my friend Erin is like as well. Like my sister, she's starting to get into it and like really just like finding herself, like truly like she's very happy doing things like that. So she's always seemed like she was very much more mature for her
Right.
age than others. My friend Erin, though, like she could just like wander off into the woods and survive for the rest of her life with no problem. Like she is 100% a homesteader, so
Yeah.
she's very much Little House on the Prairie in my eyes, and like that's how she lives. So I do know people like that who have found like their passion and
that.
live it out.
Whoever that was, I heard that. That was
Whoa.
not me.
I
And
thought
Mike
it was
giggled. Nope.
because I heard it.
It might have been Stevie's chair when she leaned back.
Okay.
It was right at that
Okay.
time. Who ripped one?
I
man?
just assumed it was you.
Children, that was my chair. Like I have a
Children?
creaky chair.
I'm sorry. You want to go back through some episodes and see different times you've said childish shit. Give me a fucking break, man.
I know I do enjoy farts, but no, it was
Ah.
my chair. I do enjoy a good fart. Do enjoy a
Okay.
good fart.
Hey, I wasn't the only one who heard it, so that's good. Stevie ripped one on air, guys. Just for you. Self-admitted.
It was my chair.
Well,
Oh shit.
so
Oops.
I have another idea or something that just that popped up. I wrote down. What? I wonder, like, what is the possibility that these ideas, these thoughts, these things these kids say and do that makes people think they are from a different time? What's the possibility that is just simply something that's been passed down through decades and decades and decades and decades of genetics? So you
Ooh, blood
you have
memories.
you have that story of that girl in Japan, okay? Or I'm sorry, she wasn't from Japan. She was from America.
Yep, she was a white
Okay.
girl.
And she
Yep.
was not Japanese, mother,
Nope.
father.
Nope. She was white.
And I mean, maybe they seen it somewhere, like, on the internet or on TV.
But
maybe they saw a pattern and
that's the thing
well, the
that,
girl
like,
was young.
yeah, she was 4 when she drew that, and then 5 when she drew the leaf. But that was like a part of a family crest. There it is. It's called a hiragi, the holly tree, and it's considered sacred in Japan. So like that crest isn't used on very many family crest. Like that symbol wasn't used on a lot of family
Right.
crests. But like these kids were also kids. So okay,
Well-
example, Jamie. He like at the time of the show being done, he did an interview for the show, and he was an older kid. He was probably in his early 20s. So these are all children from back in like the 90s. So this is pre-internet. Like they're not going to be around things of
Subjected
different to
gonna
knowledge
see all
in
that
which
stuff.
they had. Yeah. Now, if it happened today, I would totally understand. Be like, wow, this kid spends too much time on the internet. But back then, like,
Right.
it wasn't like
Well,
that. Most children don't understand that these days.
these stories jogged my memory of something that happened to me when I was a child. And I was probably like 4 or 5 years old. And okay, keep in mind, I was completely innocent. I had no idea what it was. But I remember being in school and I was drawing swastikas.
What?
Yeah. I had no idea what it was.
Now
I probably-
I remember that too, but I would just draw things to draw things. I was bored in class, and it was probably
Yeah.
older than that. It wasn't 4 or
And,
5,
you know,
but
like,
it was
I had-
just like I had no clue what it meant.
Yeah, I had no idea. I probably saw it somewhere and thought it was a cool pattern. And I was drawing them on pieces of paper.
Right.
And, one of the other
So
kids
your mom
saw me.
slapped the shit out of you. and said,
No, this was at
"Back
school.
it off, Michael."
This was at school. A teacher came over and was concerned.
Oh
And,
man.
and they're
man.
just like, this is bad. And I'm like, to me, it was just a pattern. And I thought, this is, it was an interesting pattern. And I just drew it.
Right.
And I drew like, I probably had like, 30 of them on my, piece of paper and had no idea what I was drawing.
So,
And,
curiosity, were you drawing them angled or
Killed the
straight
cat.
up?
I don't remember.
Oh,
Because here's the thing, the Nazis stole that symbol from another religion and turned it into the symbol of hate because they like cocked it sideways. If you look at like maps of Japan and you look at like the Shinto shrines, their symbol
little
is a
Miss
swastika.
Nitpicker here.
No.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just,
So, I mean, like,
it's just
it-
an
it-
interesting,
Say it could come from
Yeah.
anywhere. It could be one of two things. Like
Right.
but
you know?
here I was just a young child
Yeah.
and, I probably saw it somewhere, but to me it was interesting, the way it seemed like it was the pattern.
You probably saw it on the news somewhere. Most likely back then,
Yeah.
it would have been something on the news. And
Yeah, I mean, we're
probably
talking
in our area.
early 80s, maybe like
Yeah.
82.
so like a
Right.
neo-Nazi like article maybe. You might have
Maybe.
seen it on.
But, it's like I have no idea where it came from, but I can, that's why I'm kind of saying, well, maybe, this girl maybe saw it, pop up on, somewhere on the internet or somewhere on the,
Which this
on a
was before
TV.
the internet.
Yeah, this was
So,
before.
okay,
yeah,
or
it'd be
I mean,
But
a
like
TV or
for a
something.
it'd be like
4-year-old
TV
to
or
remember how to
newspaper.
draw an two intricate kanjis, like they're not just simple
Yeah.
kanjis for home and love. Like they're intricate. So I don't know. I just don't see a 4-year-old looking at something one time on the TV and remembering how to copy it perfectly.
I do.
Like
I do.
kanji.
I don't think that happened in this case, but I
Mm.
do think that's a very easy possibility. I say that now because I have kids and I've seen it with one of them.
Mm.
Whereas
Wow.
the other one definitely wouldn't do that. But the other one likes to draw now
Mm.
and just boom, overnight learned how to draw way better, or at least color and lines, went from total
Ooh.
crap to just really good. And I could see it. I mean, that pattern you showed me, it's not exactly
Oh,
complicated.
I'm talking about the kanji,
You know?
not the pattern, not the leaf. I'm talking about the
Okay.
kanji for home and love. Like at 4 years old, look them up.
Stevie, you next time you do one, you're coming prepared. I expect these pictures text to me prior to the show so we can pull them. How do you spell kanji? Is it Conji?
I'm sorry, KANG.
What?
J-I.
What the fuck?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was
Kanji.
cute. That was
Hey,
Did you say-
I'm with you, Mark. I'm with
God.
you. That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
K-A-N-J-I, kanji.
Which that makes sense too. So let's see.
I know, I
So
love it.
okay, so these are the letters and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Right.
look up the kanji for
Oh
love.
shit! Stop telling me what to do.
Mm-mm.
So this is basically what we're
Okay.
talking about, right?
Yeah, so we're looking at the kanji, not hiragana, not katakana. Katakana is like what they learn in school. Same
Right.
thing with hiragana, and kanji is like everything else, like the
Yeah.
thousands of other of Chinese-based symbols.
Yeah. Interesting.
So
Okay.
the kanji for love is like a 12 plus brushstroke. Yeah, there you go. Like there.
Oh yeah. Jesus
There you go.
Christ.
That's an intricate
Well-
kanji.
Doesn't even matter which one it is.
Yeah.
Like, I would hate to have to write like that, man. To remember it, it looks like a happy face. You know, it almost looks like something smiling, looking down with two arms.
So a lot
Do you
of
not see that?
No, I do see that. That's like actually where a lot of like the shape of kanjis come from, is like to like symbolize the action or whatever it represents. Like that's the basis of it.
Okay.
Cartoon.
I know
no.
nothing about it, so interesting.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, so I'm gonna go back to my thought. So genetics.
Mhm.
You know, one of the first things I thought of was like, what is the possibility that this is just sheer genetics and it's something that's passed down from? It could be who knows how many decades. So you mentioned the kid that was here that was recollecting this thing, and it possibly had to do with the nuclear bomb or whatever in Hiroshima, right? Now, if neither of the parents are Japanese, you know, that's not to say that the DNA didn't pass through somehow decades and decades and decades, right? They had kids, maybe a Japanese woman from Japan met an
wasn't-
American white male that was out there on duty on a tour.
They show no
and I'm just-
Japanese.
No. I'm not saying they do, but I'm just saying, and then through the decades, that DNA is still getting passed around, and then you get to just completely Caucasian people, and it makes its way over to the U.S. through people.
World War II wasn't
And
that
now
long
these
ago,
two-
and it was only two generations
I'm
ago.
just saying it doesn't need to be that long.
Yeah.
And then now you have these two Americans. One of them happened to have this DNA passed down through them. So think about this. Now this is
Now I would see that
So
taking
I-
like 4 or 5 generations, but not like in the sense where grandpa would be Japanese. So that would mean that the parent would be half Japanese. This kid doesn't
no.
have
I'm not
any-
saying no.
I'm just saying.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is,
confused.
let's say like Mike, you and I are not related at all, right? Well, probably a bad example because we're the same age. But let's say, God, I don't know. Let's say someone from Australia. Let's say
Okay.
I, at 4 years old, was drawing pictures of kangaroos and talking about something. I kept saying, roo, 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 whatever, and blah, blah, blah. So Stevie comes on a podcast and says he might be a star child. He's thinking of kangaroos from fucking Australia. Okay. My point is not that one of my parents has some Australian background. What I'm saying is DNA can be passed along. Think sperm. It doesn't have to be a familial something related, but just passed along over the decades. I'm not saying generations of the same family. I'm just saying it gets spread around different people. How many people have sex with more than just one person, right? So who's to say that someone that mom may have had sex with prior to meeting her current husband, and they have this kid who might be a star child, right? Indigo child. Who's to say that DNA didn't get passed to her through someone else she had sex with, and that the DNA didn't come to that person from somewhere else? That's all I'm saying. But
That's
now,
assuming that we absorb DNA.
I mean, do you really want to get into how sex works?
Oh my god, like I get that
do you
part.
do
but
you not absorb DNA? And I'm not joking. Do you? Right, you do.
But I don't
That's what
believe
I'm
that it
saying.
affects like so if I don't know. So like I took a genetics test. Like I it
Uh-huh.
didn't pop up anything. If I absorbed DNA from my previous boyfriends, I would pop up, Asian, okay? And there was nothing like that in
No,
my
no. I'm just saying,
I
how do you not know that there isn't something from that DNA
so
sticking in there and genetically that could come out uh, 20 decades later in some kid that has no familial relation to these people? I'm just saying that thought isn't any more extravagant than the possibility of a indigo child or a star child and they're magically getting this soul from 50 years ago and that's really who the fuck they are. That's a more
Mm,
realistic possibility than indigo children, is it
I
not?
have I've got an example of say like DNA, for instance, like my dad. Okay,
Right.
I don't know my dad. Okay, I think I was about 6 months old when my mom separated from my dad. Never met him
Okay.
after that, of course. And she used to tell me things like mannerisms, things I would say,
Oh
actions.
yeah.
mhm.
She would say, "You are
Exactly.
exactly," like, or like if I get angry, she goes, "You're exactly like your father was."
Now that's
Um,
straight up genetics. Yes.
Yeah.
right. And she used to say the
100%.
same thing about like my brother, but it's still, this is like, for someone who's, I've never met him,
Now your brother
beyond
is not the same dad.
correct. And so she used to say
Okay.
the same thing. She would say, certain things you would say, certain
Exactly.
actions, like the way I
Exactly what I'm
would
saying. But
express
you're
myself.
younger than your brother. You are younger than your brother, right?
Right. But I'm just saying that how is it that I can have, things that about me that are like 100%, she would say, that's your father,
Mm-hmm.
and yet I have no, memory of him.
Genetics.
So,
Well, yeah, that's
so how
genetic.
could
That's straight up
so
genetics.
Yeah.
absolutely. So,
What
but
what
who's
what
to say it couldn't
what's
be like my great great grandfather coming
what's
through as
curious
well?
to
Or
me what's curious to me is that you said the same thing about your brother. However, your brother has zero relation to your dad. He has a completely different
no,
dad.
no, no. She
Was
would
he
say it
great?
about his dad, about his dad.
Okay, I'm confused.
So the exact same thing. No, exactly the same thing that I just said about
But
me. My mom would say it about him as well. She would say there are certain things he would do that would remind him
Uh-huh.
exactly of his father. And
Oh,
she'd
okay.
say, and
Yeah. Okay.
I got it.
That's all straight up 100% genetic. So I
Mhm.
have
right.
an
And so,
example as well. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm just saying, like, something like that could easily be, say, great, great, great granddad. You might be, some traits of that person
But
as
I'm
well.
not I'm not even talking about 100% straight verified scientific genetics. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about zero familial relationship here. I'm talking
Sure.
about it could be someone from that someone slept with 10 years ago or someone that someone never slept with, but their previous partner slept with someone who slept with someone who slept with someone who slept with that person 80 fucking years ago. That's all I'm saying. That type of thing. There's no genetic or no familial relation here. I have an example of one along those lines,
Yeah.
which is straight up genetics. So I know someone that they had two kids, and when these kids were young, only one of them did this. But to go to bed once this kid, in the younger part of the life, I'd say probably 6 or 7 years old or younger. This kid, what they would do is they'd put this kid's crib or bed against the corner of the wall, so it's bordering two walls, right, 90-degree angle. And this kid, to fall asleep, would get on his knees and tuck down, almost like fetal position, up against the corner, right in the walls, and rock back and forth so hard his head, his body was banging the walls. And the times that I slept over there, I'd sleep out on the couch, out in the living room, and you could hear a boom, boom, boom. And that was what was comforting to this kid to fall asleep. Well, guess what? The mom did the same exact thing at that age. That I think is kind of interesting. Obviously, it's
Hmm.
complete genetics there,
Mm-hmm.
but that is so weird how a trait like that can come through. You know, like that's just built into the DNA. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You do absorb DNA. You have sex with someone, you're absorbing DNA. At least the female, for sure, is absorbing DNA. I'm sure there's some scientific explanation as to what happens to that once it goes in there. and probably leaves a body. But all I'm saying is, how do we not know that some of that is not being absorbed and that's going into your makeup? You pass that on to someone that you have sex with in the future from there. And then they might still pass that on to someone else. And then at some certain point in time, that person has someone way down the line has a kid, and it has this one characteristic of that kid that was from this person 80 years ago or whenever that was involved in Hiroshima.
But
That's
that
all I'm
doesn't
saying. It
explain,
wouldn't
like,
be genetic.
yeah, it doesn't explain like the dreams and like the knowledge. It just doesn't explain
That
that.
could very much explain
Mm-mm.
that. I'm not saying it's a thing. I'm just saying, just an idea. Like, it was something that came up. Like, what is the possibility that that's coming through as a genetic something through the genes, And it doesn't have to be necessarily a familial relationship if some of that is actually being absorbed and taken along with the next person to the next person.
See, I would,
You know?
I draw the, I don't know. I don't think that it would be a non-familiar thing. Like, I think that blood memory or something along those lines, like, there was Assassin's Creed is pretty much based off of like that concept where like you're in the Animus and you're using like the blood memories of your ancestors to like relive their
Mhm.
memories and shit. But
Right.
like that I understand because it's familiar, it's your family, but like non-familiar, like I don't.
I'm not saying that's true.
I know.
Obviously,
I'm
I'm
just
just
saying,
saying,
like it's a
it
little
makes you
far
wonder.
fetched for me. Like I believe some shit, but that one's a
It's-
little far fetched for me.
That's not as far fetched as the possibility of indigo children. Is it? Come on.
Mm,
Come on.
mm,
Jesus Christ. Well, that's the only thing I had. I was just, those things just came to mind. That was it. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
so-
interesting. I wonder. I mean,
Yeah.
you never know. I mean, think of deja vu,
Mhm.
right? Maybe that
I mean,
is
people
exactly what
really
you're
believe in
describing.
past life regression, and the people who go through it seem to, get some form of closure and help from it. So I'm not
Right.
passing it off at all. Like I truly do believe, like I do believe, as like the Buddhists do, like it just makes sense. Like I also am not religious whatsoever, but like the idea of like a little bit of your soul, like from whatever life, like hanging out with like your loved ones, waiting for the rest of your soul to come back together as one,
Right.
after your last life, like that makes sense to me in like a very
Right.
comforting way. But oh, sorry, cat.
Huh.
Just fucking
Oh, no.
elbowed my
Okay.
cat.
I mean, what do you think about Star Children, Mike?
Mm.
Indigo Children, Star Children.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have an opinion yet on that. I'm not sure.
I really
know what I
suggest you
believe.
watch that show on YouTube, like
Yeah.
Ghost Inside My Child. Like some of them are like, others are like, that makes me think. Like, also,
Yeah.
just real
Yeah.
quick, one last thing. You can also find reports of children who tell their parents that they picked them. Like, yeah, I picked you. I was watching you through the window. God told me that that I was to be yours. Like, these are things
no
that kids
joke.
have said to their parents. That's kind
No
of freaky.
joke. That would freak me the fuck out if that happened to me. That would freak me out.
Yep. So
You
like
know?
the
I mean-
kids say some creepy shit to their parents, like, and thank you for Reddit and documenting shit on the internet, but like just go through any of those threads and it's like, how could you not? Like I said, like it's like a waiting room. You're just waiting there to get
Yeah.
called down next.
Right.
But that's what I mean. Like maybe that's where the remainder of your soul.
Come to see.
Aww. Maybe like that's where the remainder of your soul goes to wait to get chosen for the next life, as like the little part of you that just died gets to hang out in your version of heaven with your loved ones, waiting for the rest of that soul to come back. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like does that not sound beautiful? It does to me.
Maybe.
I like the little puppy. By the way, I love it.
He was sitting on my lap for a minute, but he didn't want me to pick him up.
I have
him
a
on the
cat.
camera.
I have a cat who is like wedged between the side of my chair and my leg right now, so I feel it.
No comment. No comment. All right. Well, Mike has no opinion. That's good.
No
Star
opinion.
Children. I don't know. I mean, Yeah. Hey, little pussy.
He's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's so many things we've heard about. Different things that are so out there. They're so woo. And obviously this would be one of them, but
Mhm.
you hear all these stories, Star Children, whatever these other ideas are, and it's like, well, there's got to be a grain of truth somewhere. Like, what is it that's really going on? Is there more to it, or is it really just happenstance, just coincidence? Who the fuck knows? But I mean, interesting idea.
Yeah.
It would be kind of cool. I mean, again, I wouldn't be shocked if they were able to prove it.
Mhm.
I really wouldn't be shocked. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to know who I used to be.
Oh,
or
man.
what part of me used to be, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it would be interesting, like, as a person who loves history, to, like, if they could prove it in any way, just to be like, wow, so that's the thing. I would feel even more connected and, like, truly, like, involved in the things that I was reading and enjoying to learn about. Like, I don't know, as a history buff, I wish so bad that this was a thing, but that's because I'm weird. So
You
oh
are.
well. Yes,
You are. You
am.
look like you got something to say, Mike.
man.
I was just thinking it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it'd
so.
make people like act a lot better if they knew they were coming back, and especially if there was like a karma thing behind it too, or I don't know.
No,
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't know.
Huh. Interesting. Well, I don't know. But you know what I do know? You better like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below. All the typical bullshit. If you got a personal story of your own, email us, obscuredr1@gmail.com. Type story in the subject line. We want to hear your personal obscure stories, aliens, UFOs, Bigfoots. You think you may be one of these indigo children. You have a story like that. Shoot it over. We'll tell your story for you anonymously. If you want to be on the show, very simple to do. You come on, anonymous, no video, just audio, doesn't matter. But Stevie, hit that bell.
Yes, hit that bell. Subscribe to notifications so that way you know every time we drop a new banger. What is it? I always fuck this up. 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern. Fuck it up every time.
You can't say banger with Mike and I both on here at the same time. We both grinned. I saw that, Mike.
Yeah. Anyways, so hit that bell so that you don't have to remember what time it drops on Friday. You will just know,
Bang
because
that fucking
obviously
bell.
I don't fucking know either, and I'm on the podcast. So yeah, hit that bell. Subscribe to notifications. Also, find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Got a lot of shorts
as
over
we're
there.
having issues with those right now. But yes. All right. Mike, any final comments? Make it a good
Nope.
one.
Nope.
That's not a good one.
No comments.
Stevie, any final comments?
No.
Just dead silence? I got one.
Just dead silence.
Peace out, y'all.